When we first see Kim, Usman, and Jamal, they're at an amusement park in Nigeria with Mahadi and his parents. Right now, Kim's trying to bond with Usman's nephew that he wants her to adopt. Only one itty-bitty little problem. The kid looks wildly uncomfortable while being in Kim's presence.
Say bye, Daddy. Whee! Got it? Yay! You like it?
This is such a loaded situation for Mahadi and Jamal. The good news is that Kim and Usman break up in episode 17 of Happily Ever After. I have a conspiracy theory that they're only breaking up for drama and they're going to be back together at the tell-all. But let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Kimberly, better known as Stan, is a 51-year-old fan of Usman and the show 90 Day Fiancé. Kim first slid into Usman's DMs when he was in a relationship with baby girl Lisa. When it comes to desperate old American ladies, Usman keeps his options open in his Instagram DMs. So if you want to get disrespected on national TV and used for a green card, by all means, shoot your shot. Ironically enough, Jamal, Kim's son, is messing around with Veronica, Tim's ex. Jamal and Veronica actually have an open relationship, which they explained when Jamal came out and made a guest appearance on the Single Life Season 3 tell-all. Within a couple seconds of watching Jamal and Veronica interact, you can tell that she's way more into him than he is into her.
You gonna live the single life forever?
I mean, not forever, but right now I am having fun.
It's really obvious that Jamal entered this relationship with Veronica with the intentions of having his own spin-off show on TLC and not being reliant on his mother to be on the show.
Were you guys intimate on the first date?
What do you mean?
Did you all have sex on the first date?
Oh, yeah, I woke up to her, you know.
Does anyone else find it interesting that Jamal isn't comfortable with Usman treating his mother like one of his many options, but he's very comfortable treating Veronica like that?
Jamal, you were dating other people?
Yeah.
Having sex with other people?
Yeah, you know, protection, of course.
Okay,
Right.
you're seeing other people.
I would be open to it. I'm just too lazy to do
Okay,
that.
so
right
right now you're not seeing
No.
anybody else.
Having sex with other people?
Yeah, protection.
Just goes to show he has more in common with Usman than he realizes, because essentially what he's doing is putting himself first before these girls and using these girls to get to where he wants to go, which is very similar to what Usman's doing to his mom. Like I said earlier, Kim and Usman break up in the latest episode. Funny enough, the argument starts off with Usman telling Kim to clean up the room. Imagine paying for your own hotel room in Nigeria and still getting treated like the maid by the dude that isn't paying for jack shit. Usman also told Kim the way she walks is wrong and the way she dresses is wrong. This is messed up for a lot of reasons, because if you've seen the way Kim walks, she does walk like she's very pigeon-toed or like she just had a double knee replacement, but this isn't news for Usman. He's been with this girl for years, so to all of a sudden bring up the way she walks is wrong is just very out of pocket. Something I've talked about in my videos on Usman and Kim is his dog water fight language, because he just says things to chip away at this girl's sense of worth, and it's really infuriating to watch as a viewer, because we can all recognize what's happening, but Kim doesn't, because she's so delusional about this relationship with him. Kim also reveals that Usman told her to get a tummy tuck, which is brutal to hear from your fiance. By the end of Kim and Usman's explosive argument, he left the hotel and she was crying on her suitcase. Before we dive even deeper into Kim and Usman's relationship, why don't we take a look at our least favorite skin ambassador, the Dirty Bird. When we first see Gru from Despicable Me's grandmother, she's crying talking to the producers about Michael.
My friend sent me texts. Michael cheating on me online.
Oh my gosh, you guys, Angela claims that Michael was talking to another woman behind her back and he was being unfaithful. So he was doing to Angela exactly what she was doing to him with Billy, but she wants to play the victim and act like, this is so shocking. Isn't this news? You believe he did me like that?
Like, he broke my heart. Like, he really broke my heart. He really broke my heart. I didn't deserve this.
This girl literally physically assaulted Michael on this season of Happily Ever After and should have been fired from the network because of that, but she wasn't. Angela proceeds to show the viewers the conversation that Michael allegedly had with this woman. However, she still hasn't surrendered her text thread with Billy. What's that saying? Don't throw stones when you live in a glass house? Even if Michael did cheat on Angela, she cheated on him multiple times in the past, and she's been exposed by many fan pages of the show. Not to mention on this present season of Happily Ever After, openly flirting with Billy, saying that you have a crush on him and asking him for sex on the show.
I've not ever cheated on Michael, and I don't care. I didn't hide nothing with Billy.
This human ballsack wants us to feel bad for her and she wants to play the victim. Meanwhile, she called Billy in front of her husband and told him that she will never leave his side and she loves him and she's gonna do the most for him and come over to Canada and provide for him and clean up for him and cook his food. Yet she treats her husband like absolute shit. And let that really sink in. This woman treated a stranger that she met over the internet better than her husband.
There's that sexy baby.
What about how in the preview of the tell-all, Angela, the skin ambassador, throws a dig at Usman about the gap in his teeth? When you look like the Witch of the Waste from Howl's Moving Castle and you're commenting on how other people look? Whoa. The tell-all for Happily Ever After actually looks good. It's going to be in 4 parts, so I'm assuming a lot of drama goes down. From the way that Angela Demas treated Michael throughout their entire relationship, as well as used money and a green card to constantly hold over this guy's head, it's very clear that her sense of security and safety comes from controlling Michael in this relationship.
I don't give a goddamn about no money, bitch. Your ass up. You know just. I'm out. She's How about that? Your car apart. My car.
Let me know what y'all think in the comments about this, but I feel like until she can treat this man the way that she demands to be treated in return, the fans are not going to take her side on any matter. It's really easy to fake text threads, so at first I assumed Angela just had a friend make these fake messages between Michael and this mystery woman. However, Angela then plays a voice memo that Michael sent to this girl.
I love you and I miss you.
Michael, how could you do Angela like that? She goes on to try and convince the audience that she doesn't deserve to be treated like this way by Michael, and I'm just like, bruh.
He really broke my heart. I didn't deserve this.
Off the top of our heads, let's list a bunch of different ways that Angela has disrespected Michael, both on and off the show. Start off strong. First off, she flew to Nigeria unannounced to wreck his car and physically assault him. She emotionally cheated on Michael with that dork Billy. She openly flirted with her doctor that she got gastric sleeve surgery from. One night she had that same doctor drive her home while she was intoxicated, which is wildly inappropriate. Not to mention many fans have speculated that they had a relationship on the low-low. She's insulted Michael and his family numerous times on and off the show. She flashed his aunt and just about the entire world at the tell-all. She harassed and threatened Michael to get off social media. Meanwhile, she could keep all of her social media up. She made Michael financially reliant on her, and then she stopped paying him money. And for that particular point, to make matters worse, that is the money that he also rightfully earned from going on the show with her. She also won't let him work in Nigeria out of the fear of him potentially flirting with women. This next point has nothing to do with Michael, but it's worth noting that Angela also raised a child predator, and she supplied her daughter with alcohol when she was sending underage kids in her home. 100% Michael should have handled this disrespect that this woman has constantly thrown his way in a different way, held himself to a higher standard, broke up with this girl, pursued other love interests after his relationship was already done. But are we surprised that he cheated? Not really.
Can you believe he said that to this girl? That's how you talk to me.
Angela really needs to work on not speaking to her partner with contempt. She constantly verbally attacks Michael with an intent to insult or abuse. We've seen Michael many times when this has occurred communicate to Angela that this hurts his feelings, but she'll take it to a next octave, like an octave up, and start cussing at him more and saying meaner things to him. Realistically, when you're constantly doing this to your partner, how do you expect them to react? I don't know about y'all, but for me, watching this woman berate her husband this entire season while glorifying Billy, it just makes me think, like, is it because of his skin color? Is it because he's not American? And it actually made me uncomfortable to watch, and I'm pretty sure it made everybody uncomfortable to watch, because it's like you have years invested in this relationship with Michael, so I'm really not sure what the reason is for glorifying this stranger on the internet. I would have thought based on the last episode that they wouldn't be still talking about this adoption process because Kim was firmly against converting to Islam.
Would you want my mom to convert to Muslim?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to convert to Muslim. Absolutely not.
No, God!
Kim basically turned into Michael Scott when she was talking about Islam. Mahadi's mother admits that she's not comfortable with her child being raised in America in a non-Muslim household. Kim informs everyone sitting at the table that they have time to discuss the adoption process because it obviously wouldn't happen right away.
It wouldn't happen next week. It'll be a couple years, you know?
And when Usman hears this news, his ears perk up and he says something very interesting.
What?
Couple years
Well, at least a year.
for the adoption.
Yeah.
So, Usman, you want to start the process like now?
Yeah, like now it's all about getting married. immediately we get married, like a month or so.
So sus, the parents of the kid that you're gearing up to take to America haven't even given you a verbal agreement yet. How sketchy is this dude trying to rush the process so that he can get to America faster?
Where y'all gonna live? I feel like you can't just bring him over and then...
This is gonna be a minute. This part of
That's
it
what
is
you
gonna
think.
be. No, it's not gonna be fast.
Quick question for Sam. Why did you bring your son Jamal to Nigeria and ask him for advice if you never listen to his advice and every time he says something intelligent, you cut him off or shut down whatever he's saying? Obviously, planning where you're gonna live and raise a child before adopting a child is the correct way to go about this.
You have to go through a process. It's not gonna be overnight. We've already discussed that.
Oh shit, Kim doesn't realize at this moment, but Usman's geared enough to start some arguments with her because this man is tired of waiting to get to America. After family bonding at the amusement park, it is Jamal's last day, but before he leaves, Kim invites him to talk privately about her and Usman's relationship because she wants his advice.
Y'all make it seem like y'all have everything figured out. How are y'all gonna really be in the future? It's like, let's make sure that this adoption is good for everyone involved.
It's honestly funny to watch Jamal give his mother fire relationship advice because she just gives him a blank stare in return and all of his advice goes in one ear and out the other.
I feel like we're family right now. Right, babe?
Yes.
So disrespectful the way Usman looks at Jamal like, yeah, bro, I got your mom wrapped around my finger. This would infuriate any son that cares about his mom. Dude's a schemer, a scammer. This is the second old lady he's gone on the show with. And honestly, they shouldn't even be on Happily Ever After. I thought this show was supposed to be about married couples. Usman says, Jamal's not a bad guy, actually. He just gets too involved in his mom's relationship. The interesting part about what he just said is the lack of empathy, right? Because if the roles were reversed and someone was doing this to Usman's mom, I highly doubt that they would handle the situation as diplomatically as Jamal has been. Kim will also say things to the audience like, Jamal's giving me a lot of tough love right now, and I'm just thinking to myself, no, he's not. If anything, he seems emotionally detached and he's giving very monotone responses to her dumbass questions. As Jamal is saying goodbye to Sussman and his mother, we can see the size difference between him and Sussman, and I'm sure that drives Sussman absolutely insane. As Jamal's leaving, Kim eggs Usman on to say, I love you, stepson, to Jamal, and he says it, and Jamal's like, bro, don't make me get out of this car right now. After Usman and Kim say goodbye to their son Jamal, they seem to be on good terms. However, the next day, big Uno reverse card. Kim's in the bathroom crying hysterically, and we hear Usman say, I'm sorry, and then Kim says, the way I walk is wrong, the way I dress is wrong, like what the fuck, why am I here? I don't do that to you, Usman. There's a lot I don't like about you, but I don't say it.
What about how Usman doesn't like the way that Kim dresses, but every time we see this girl on the show, she's wearing his merch?
On a more serious note, it's funny how when Usman all of a sudden finds out that the adoption process is going to take longer than he expected, he's all of a sudden really critical of the way that she dresses and walks. Usman goes on to say sorry to Kim, but he's obviously not sorry because if he was, he would break the habit and not have to tear this girl down to build himself up. Kim explains that Usman was angry at her for being messy and not cleaning the hotel room that she's paying for, lol. She adds that Usman told her to get a tummy tuck, and as soon as I heard this, I was like, yo, hold my poodle, who does this SpongeBob SquarePants looking head ass kid think he is? He didn't even tell baby girl Lisa to get a tummy tuck. Why is he saying that shit to Kim? It's so messed up to know what this girl looks like before entering this relationship and then enter this relationship and then be very critical of her looks and want to change everything about her. Just as I, and I'm assuming you all, are getting riled up hearing this from Kim, she says something very interesting. I don't know if it was stress. I don't know if it was the tension. Oh yeah, Kim, this dude told you to get a tummy tuck because he was stressed out, for sure. Usman takes shots at this girl's self-esteem all the time, so I'm not really surprised he did this. What I'm more surprised about is Kim's reaction to it because it's almost like she thinks that she deserves to be treated this way.
I was doing that and I was laughing.
But it doesn't sound like you're playing.
Dude literally just admitted to saying those hurtful things to Kim and trying to pass it off as a joke. My question for him is, what if she said something to you like, hey bro, your music's trash, you're never gonna be like CK, you're garbage. And even if she said it regardless of the tone, like let's say she said it like this, your music's trash, Usman aka Soldier Boy, you're never gonna be as good as CK. If Kim said that shit to him, he would absolutely throw a temper tantrum and once again remind this girl how lucky she is to be with him. Kim goes on to ask Usman why he's even with her if he thinks that her stomach is too big.
And then everything, oh, I don't pick up the room right. I don't dress right. My stomach's too big. I mean, why are you even with me?
I think the question you should be asking instead, Kim, is why are you still with this dude? Does it feel good to be with a partner that constantly points out your flaws and treats you like trash? That do not be sounding mad luxurious. And I've seen Kim ask Usman in a bunch of different ways for reassurance, and he never gives her the reassurance that she's asking for. So it's like you're never reassured, your feelings aren't valid, you're shelling out so much love and doing the most for this dude that would not do the same for you. I just struggle to see what the benefits are.
I'm sitting here thinking about adopting a baby. but you can't even hold a conversation with me. We don't even have sex.
Kim also mentions that she received the same treatment from Usman from her ex-husband. My question is, which one, the murderer or Jamal's dad? Kim has some free time. She might want to look into anxious attachment style because she constantly finds herself attracting partners like Usman. So yeah, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again. You gotta at some point question what you're doing to attract these dudes. Usman gets hella triggered when Kim acknowledges that she's sacrificing a lot in this relationship, especially with adopting his nephew.
You know, you're not the one traveling to come down here to sacrifice all I'm sacrificing.
Stop giving me that as an excuse, please. Because at this point,
All I'm asking you for,
I'm just
Usman-
telling you, you cannot come and start telling me all that.
Usman gets hella triggered when Kim acknowledges that she's sacrificing a lot in this relationship because it's the truth. And instead of acknowledging what Kim says, he just gets really defensive. This is a pattern I've noticed with Usman. He will often victimize himself in order to ward off a perceived attack. When they argue, Usman always makes it a competition when it's like, bro, her saying that she's sacrificing a lot doesn't mean that she's saying you're not sacrificing anything in this relationship.
You're not adopting. I'm actually adopted.
Yeah, but it's still changing my
Fine,
life.
then, so
and then every little, and then on the side note of that, it's a huge sacrifice for me too.
To do
it's not
adapt?
just you, yes.
Don't do it then.
No, you're not.
Don't do it then.
Bro, what do you mean? She'd be adopting the kid with you and you'd be living in America in her house. She'd be paying the rent, cooking, cleaning, doing majority of the work, raising this kid with you. So like, what are you saying? The audacity of this man.
I've been in a situation that nobody's comfortable. She thinks she do a lot. I think I do a lot. She thinks she sacrificed a lot. I think I sacrificed the most.
Oh, bad. Clap it up for Usman. Good luck to you raising this kid in America without Kim. You can't even get in the side of the club, bro.
If I get this
I'm always
boy,
wrong. I'm just
I
always
don't
wrong.
have to have a second wife.
Are you saying like
which
anything?
you are going to be happy with that?
I didn't say that.
When Usman and Kim argue, y'all already know that he has to take some shots at her sense of self-worth. So he straight up tells Kim that no guy in his region would want to be with her.
You always feel like you do things. Kimberly, me being with you is something that nobody,
Oh God, I cannot do this
nobody will do
anymore.
in my
I
region.
cannot.
This woman's obviously already upset, so to make her feel unwanted and unloved and like no one would want to be with her, that's just so sad. And I don't know who you think you are to talk down to this girl, because of the way that you've treated this girl on the show has been a bad advertisement for you as a partner, and I'm willing to bet women in all regions wouldn't want to date you. I've also noticed whenever Kim stands up for herself, Usman starts stonewalling. And we can see that by how they're mid-conversation, Usman pulls out his phone, starts texting, he receives a call when they're talking, and this is the last straw for Kim. She actually loses her shit.
Hello?
You know what? You're a ass. You are a ass. I'm done.
Kim literally takes her engagement ring off, places it on the table, breaks up with him, and walks out of the hotel room. When this all happens, Usman looks completely unfazed, but he's just thinking to himself, there's no way this old lady just broke up with me. I assumed she was just gonna pack up her belongings and head back to America, but she actually like 5 minutes later came back to apologize to Usman, try to get back together with him, and try to once again convey how she's feeling. Usman once again tries to convince this girl that adopting Mahdi, his nephew, is for her, not for himself. His reasoning is if they adopt this kid, then he won't have to take a second wife, but that's something that he didn't put on baby girl Lisa. So this whole thing is bullshit.
So I think it is high time I just go back home and look for somebody who is around my culture, like everything is the same, and just find one, get married, and continue with my life like that.
Usman felt very disrespected by Kim when she took off the engagement ring, even though her feelings were valid and he didn't validate her feelings this entire relationship. He tells her that he hopes that she finds somebody else, somebody better than him, and they should just go their separate ways. He actually breaks up with this girl.
And then I pray for you should get the best, a man that is going to be better and better and better than me.
Dang, that's tough to hear. Kim's crying so hard, she might want to call the wambulance. It's actually a blessing in disguise. This scene reminds me of when Smeagol was corrupted by the One Ring and turned into Gollum. Like, even though she desires Usman, he is poisonous for her. Kim cries and slithers her way out of the hotel room. Usman gets in his car and drives back home. It seems like the couple's actually breaking up this time. Next week is part 1 of the 4-piece tell-all we're getting. Nom 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 nom. I'm excited to see if Usman and Kim are back together or they're still broken up. Hope you guys have happy holidays with friends and family. Super thankful for y'all watching my videos. Comment below, subscribe. Love you, friend. Follow me on Twitch and on Instagram right now.